Marriott opens its first hotel in Arlington, Virginia. The New York City Mad Bomber George Minetsky is arrested in Waterbury, Connecticut, and charged with planting some 30 bombs. And Toyota begins exporting vehicles into the United States with the Toyota Crown and Land Cruiser. The year is 1957, and this Imperial Crown four-door hardtop could be had at your local Chrysler dealer. But before getting into this one, I'm your host, Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that features your favorite cars of the past and ones that slip through the cracks in mini documentary formats. History, specs, design, would you rather, and there is a slow motion walk around at the very end which shows all of the details, all of the lines, where the trim pieces go, what the fenders look like, and how these cars are put together. I post between 3 and 5 episodes a week, but for the month of December, because it's Christmas, there's going to be an episode a night unless technology has other plans, all of which will premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you dig automotive history, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. 1957 Imperial model lineup. But before getting into that, Imperial was under Chrysler's offerings from its inception in 1926 and would be Chrysler Imperial until 1955, when Chrysler would break it off and elevate Imperial as its top offering without Chrysler in front of it. Imperial would be a separate make from 1955 through 1983. It's important to note there was a pause in production during those years. So Imperial was produced from 1955 through 1975. The name would be resurrected in 1981 through 83. In 1990, Chrysler Imperial would return from 1990 through 1993, and then it was discontinued. 2006 did see the release of Chrysler Imperial concept car. Chrysler's decision to make Imperial a separate line was to better compete with General Motors' 5 brands, and now Chrysler had 5 brands: Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and Imperial, to General Motors' Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac. Ford kind of felt left out in 56, so they made Continental their top shelf offering. Ford Mercury, the new Edsel line, Lincoln, and Continental was Ford's 5. But Ford bit off a little more than they could chew, offering 2 new lines of cars during an economic recession, and would go back to 3 makes in the early 60s. It's also important to point out that General Motors and Ford had something that Chrysler did not have. They had specific dealers that dealt with just Cadillac and just Lincoln. Chrysler sold Imperials through Chrysler dealerships, which confused consumers. 1957 Imperial was offered in Imperial, Imperial Crown, LeBaron, and Crown Imperial. For those wondering, is there a difference between Imperial Crown and Crown Imperial? And the answer is yes. The Crown Imperials were custom built by Turin of Italy. The Crown Imperials were sporting the new 58 grille, as well as singular headlights in the front, because the quad headlights were allowed in the States, but they wasn't allowed abroad yet. Their doors also extended into the roof, and they only came in one flavor: limousine. Whereas the Imperial Crown was offered in more body styles that included, but not limited to, 4-door sedan, 4-door hardtop, 2-door hardtop, and 2-door convertible, which was the first year that convertible has been offered by Imperial since 1951. 1957 Imperial saw a complete redesign courtesy of Virgil Exner forward look. So let's compare 56 on top, 57 on the bottom, starting in the front. 2 totally different designs. Let's talk about some similarities before getting into the differences. Both of these have wraparound windshields. Both of these have windshield wipers that come together. Both of these have a bird mascot on the nose of the car, albeit done differently. The 56 has singular headlights that are recessed inside the fenders. Also notice the 56 Imperial lights. They kind of sort of look like they're floating. Turn signal indicators are just below that. On the 57, turn signal indicator location is just below the quad headlight setup. The quad headlights sit recessed underneath that fender hood as well. but there's no denying it that these two designs are completely different. Notice the 56 has two separated grills, whereas the 57 has one long grill that goes the whole width of the car. The 57 also does not have bumperettes. The 56 does. At this angle, you can see how different the sheet metal is between these two cars. Also, ignore the fact that the 56 is a two-door hardtop and the 57 is a four-door hardtop, but you can also see how different the roof profile is, as well as wraparound windshield. The wraparound windshield is completely new, completely different design, as well as vent window. Side mirror is mounted to the front fender on the 57 versus on the door on the 56. Notice the 56 has rocker trim. It also has trim that goes around the wheel openings. The 57 doesn't have that. The 57 wheel openings are more elongated than the 56. Looking at the car's side profile, you can see the difference in roof profile, vent window, and windshield profiles between these two because the back glass has also been changed. Also notice how high the fins are on the 57 versus the 56. Moving aft, the brake lights are just kind of mounted onto the rear fenders on the 56 versus they're incorporated into the tail design on the 57. The 57 has a sloping rear deck, whereas the deck lid on the 56 is more upright. What do you guys think of the commode seat on the 57? I mean, spare tire bulge on the 57. Jumping inside to take a quick gander at the dash and interior situation, which they're both completely different. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 224 inches long, 81.2 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 129 inches. It weighs 4,920 pounds. Price, $5,406, which would be equivalent to you spending $62,327.91 in the year 2025. Total 1957 Imperial was 35,734 units, but I found conflicting information. I saw a number as high as 37,593 units. So the truth is somewhere in the middle there. Imperial Crown was 16,851, of which 7,813 were four-door hardtop variety. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer for this car, 392 cubic inch displacement, overhead valve, Hemi V8, 6.4 liters. It was good for 325 horsepower at 4,600 RPM, 430 pound-feet, or 583 newton meters around 2,400 RPM with a bore of 4 inches and a stroke of 3.9 inches. Compression was 925 to 1. It is backed to a 3-speed manual transmission. 0 to 60 could be had in 9.2 seconds with an alleged top speed of 120 miles per hour while achieving an average of anywhere between 8 to 10 miles to the gallon. If you're in the market for a 1957 Imperial Crown 4-door hardtop, you're in luck because this car is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall out in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where they got this car and they got over 700 cars currently for sale. Anybody can go there, and let me tell you, when you walk through those front doors for the very first time, it's like dying and going to car heaven. Insert angelic voice. For hours of operation, directions, to get the full scoop on this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. So let's talk styling on this excessive car. Starting with the front. Notice the turn signal indicators are down here underneath. Look at this part here. Notice this top part protrudes over top of it. You got this grille, quad lights. All the textured effect in the bezel. Bright work that comes up over it. So I have this Imperial Crown there. There's a lot of bright trim, intricate trim parts on this car. This car doesn't have any overriders and or bumperettes. Imperial badge there in the center. Look at this trim piece here that just keeps going. This car has a center line that goes towards the curved wraparound windshield with windshield wipers that come together. There is an external cowl vent. The hood profile is relatively smooth aside from that one center line. Windshield washer squirter in the center, bright cowl vent. The mirror is located on the fender. Also take a gander at all of the different bright work that goes around this wraparound windshield. This car has drip rails which start right here and they run just the cabin of the car. Bright trim ends right there, wraps around in the front. Take a gander at these wheel openings. Look at how elongated they are. They're flared. Got Imperial spelled out right there on the front fender. There's this beltline trim that runs out the back. Check out this vent window profile. There's a small gravel guard there. The rear openings also flare before tapering back into the body. Back bumpers wrap clear around to there, but notice it's all carved out here in the bodywork for the bumper to be there. Look at how this is body color, but the roof is a different color. Also take a gander at how this part here, this is almost a ½ inch, maybe an inch thick, and it comes to a point there in the center. Massive back glass that wraps clear around. This car has fins which start right here and they come up pretty aggressively as they come out the back. This fin profile has a lot going on. It's rather complex. And then it has this bright piece on both sides. The side fins, bezel. Just take a look at that brake light. There's a reflector right below it. Gas filler. This fake spare tire bulge in the back with Imperial trim with the Imperial Crown logo. Get the backup lights, and the bumpers in the back are completely different than the bumpers in the front. While we're back here, man, take a gander at that absolutely massive trunk. You got a full-size spare here, bias ply, 2-tier trunk, all carpeted. And there's the load floor situation, relatively low load floor. This door has a lot of heft to it. Feels like a bank vault door. So notice all of the material, armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. There's electric window switches there to operate all of the electric windows except for the vent windows. The vent windows are not electric operated. This is the door handle to get out. Take a gander at that Imperial sill plate. This one's got power seats, and the seats rest in this nice bright bucket. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, you have the high beam switch as well as parking brake. Brake pedal, gas pedal. Just take a gander at this interior. Nice. Nice shot. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. On to the button switches and knobs. Coming over here to all of the push buttons. You got neutral, drive, reverse, second, first. And then you have your turn signal indicators down here, which is a switch. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. I've never seen it done like that before. Then you got two gigantic gauge pods that sit aimed at the driver with a small one in the center. The first one has 120 mile per hour speedometer with trip odometer and odometer at the bottom. All of the numbers are going the same way. The one in the center is a clock. You got your warning for your high beam indicator up here. It just kind of protrudes down from the dash pad. And then this, I would assume this would be the warning to let you know that the parking brake is engaged. Over here, you have all of your engine vitals. You got low and high for oil pressure. Then down here, you got coolant temperature. Over here, generator. And up here at the top is gasoline. Down below, you got the headlights. You got the brake release. Fan blower. Windshield wiper. Key and ignition. Up above it is the right turn signal indicator. The left turn signal indicator is just above the headlights on the left-hand side. Here you got a slider for warmer. The higher you go, off is at the top, cool is at the top, warmer is down. Then you got a switch here for cooling and heating. Over here, you got a radio with a nice map light. Up above, you got sun visors. There's one sun visor there, and there's a sun visor over there. Rear view mirror is not at the top. It is on the dashboard itself. Some people like that, some people don't like that, but that's where it is in this car. This car has air conditioning, it seems, because there's the air conditioning vents there in the dashboard. Down here is a tissue dispenser. Massive, absolutely massive glove box. Just take a look at how that dashboard is designed, how it kind of has like an S. Seatback profile in the front, it's rather nice. This material is a very interesting material. It feels like it might be a Naugahyde because of the level of car. It could be a leather. There's an armrest in the center. Steering wheel, there's a place for you to put your thumbs that's all brighted out. And the center, it kind of goes to a V, like a V towards the dash. The steering wheel is dished. It also has these nubs that you can play with. I'm just pointing this out because I think it's really cool when you're driving a car like this. Kind of sort of wanted to show you this because this car is a 4-door hardtop. When it's opened, there's no post here. Instead, this is a very rigid piece. It doesn't flex, it doesn't move, and it's strong enough to hold this door as well as the other door. But just notice all the bright work on it. Getting in the back, but before we do, just take a look at all this channeled effect in the bright work. Very petitely trimmed window. Looks very elegant. And this is what the rear door looks like. And also this material down here, as well as what looks to be a polished aluminum. Got the armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut, because there's this nice lip here for you to put your fingers back there. This one's got electric window, door lock, door handle to get out, ashtray, which is this garage door, cigarette lighter. There is a grab handle to hold on to on the back, on the side of the seat, I should say, and it's all bright. There is a transmission tunnel back here. But just look at this interior back here. Also notice the roof on the inside does what the roof on the outside does. That's kind of cool. This is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse, or the pillar to glass ratio. It's pretty nice in this car. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. Beautiful visibility in this car with the wraparound back glass, as well as the wraparound front windshield. The pillars are very small in the front. The pillar is a little bit bigger back here, but it's not huge by modern standards. Also, take stock at all of the bright work happening in this interior. It's like the happening place for bright work. Let's talk about seat back profile back here. It is rather upright. It does dip down in the back. And with this car being as massive as it is, my knees are in the back of the front seat. Despite this car being huge, that's kind of... It's not terrible, though. I'm comfortable. There is a armrest back here, which operates like that. There's also a massive parcel shelf behind me to put stuff on. Other creatures' comforts included, but not limited to. Doesn't look like there's any coat hooks. There is a rather massive dome light there in the center, mounted horizontal. Everything found on the passenger side is found on the driver's side. There's a lot of bright work. Coming to the under the hood section, the hood releases right up in here. That releases it, and it opens it. It's all one motion. It's not terribly heavy. Two horns up here, one stacked one on top of one another, as well as a big trumpet horn right there. It's your radiator, 12-volt battery. This one has an alternator. Looks like a 3-belt system. You got 2 belts running the alternator that run off of the crankshaft and run this air conditioning compressor over here. And then there's another belt that runs the fan off the crank, and then it's hooked up to the power steering pump right there. This one's got power brake booster. Chrysler firepower engine. It's got the Hemi. Chrysler had a weird brake system. The master cylinder actually sits underneath it, and it looks to be a single master cylinder from what I can see. On the positive side, luxurious car that looks like nothing else on the road. Awesome dash that gives full instrument display for all the different gauges. Brightly accented interior, great visibility, large trunk, great engine against it. They are rust prone. Despite it being a huge car, there isn't that much knee space or legroom in the rear. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather, 2 scenarios. Which one of these would you rather have? 1957 Lincoln Premier, or 1957 Imperial Crown, or 1957 Cadillac? Fleetwood, I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario, 1956 Packard Caribbean, or 1957 Imperial Crown, or a fully loaded 1957 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. Once again, going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. That is a great song. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this one. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or you can always send me an email at what_its_like@yahoo.com. Thanks again for everything that you guys bring to the comment section and the community. I love all the stories that you guys share. Until next time, toodaloo! Welcome to the after show. This part of the video doesn't have any sound or commentary, but it gives you the opportunity to see this car in its entirety, all of the trim pieces, all of the lines, how everything gets put back together if you're restoring one of these cars. I also want to apologize when you get down to the tail section on the passenger side. I don't know, it must have been having some camera issues. I put like a lens on the end of this camera and it kind of set the gimbal out of whack. So if it starts to kind of shake a little bit, that's why. Enjoy.